think I got it. Waiting on YouTube still. I think I'm good. Maybe. Yeah, alright. So, yesterday I was adding a new transition area. I do need to, at some point, clean up the artwork where it connects with the water. This is not looking too good right now. But, most of this is functional at least. So, the shop's there. You can go down here to go to the next wave. And then, well, today I need to address the problem where the grass, like all the little bush things, like to float above the water. Need to fix that, and I also need to fix the player color. I think I'm gonna make them red. I'm gonna have to see though. And then what else do I want to do? Oh, also if you look on the top left here, you can see the water is reacting to my health bar and other UI stuff. So I need to change that so that the UI layer is separate from the game layer for shaders. What happened was that I ported this to Modern GL and just threw in the Pygame surface that I had, so that these were not separated. So Modern GL just sees this whole image as one, or the whole display here is one layer. So that needs to be fixed. And then if I have some time, I want to start working on some of the artwork for this area. There's going to be like a little almost town that I want to put right here. And what I'll probably do is like put maybe like an anvil and like just a blacksmith area right here, and then like a little mat right here that these items are floating above. But, yeah. Did I ever have a phase where I just kept creating new projects without finishing them? I mean, that was probably the first 10 years. That happens when you're, well, there's a good reason for that happening in a lot of cases, and that's like if you're improving fast enough so that you want to restart every single time you even get partway through a larger project because you can do it better. That's usually, well, that's often something that happens when you're improving a lot. But now that I've been going for 10 years or whatever, the improvement's not as drastic, so I can go for a couple years without wanting to rework everything. Now, something you can do is actually just rework everything in that old project, but then it takes a lot longer to complete it. Alright, so like I said, first thing is the player color, so let's go pull up our palette here and see what I'm going to do for that. Where did I put Yawnoc? Images, sketch. Here we go. So here's all the random stuff that's been drawn for Yawnoc. Well, not all of it's for Yawnoc. So there's like this thing which was for a video, but it was just using the palette. So, because I made this palette. I need to finish the blues. There needs to be more blue colors, but here's the shadows and stuff. I need to figure out what I'm going to do for the player color. So I have a couple options here. I kind of wanted to make the player, well, if the player were white, it would stand out a lot. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try red and white. If I can get away with it, just a palette swap on this, that would be nice. I could do, if I do that. These little colors right here suggest a lot, and like the yellow I'm putting, even though it's just a couple pixels, it suggests a lot because the highlights are all white. Alright, so let's throw in red. It's going to be kind of pink looking. But red does stand out in this game. I could do that, but it would be very hard to see still, I think, because I don't know, the brightness of it is, I'm not liking that. I think I could do yellow. Hang on, so I can do all that. So what if I do yellow? Yellow is kind of a dinosaur looking color, I feel like. That looks overexposed. Let me recolor the stomach. If I do like, oh, that doesn't look right. If I do like that color, so that color kind of needs to be darker for the stomach, or lighter. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and take a screenshot of me standing in the grass, and then take a new paint thing, and let's crop that. All right. So I'm just gonna take all these colors and start throwing things down and see what looks right to me. So let's go 300 times, or 300%. So here's the red. Let's see how this looks. So this is what I was looking at. That kind of blends to me. The problem is if I do white, it's also hard to see. Because once you, well, it's fine there, but once you stand over here, then it's gonna blend in a bit. Not too bad, actually. That one I could get away with. So the white is an option. Okay, this car is outside my window being loud. Now another thing is I could just do black. It definitely stands out on the sand here, and then also in the grass, it's fairly visible. If I do black and then white, I could get away with it. But actually, I'm tempted to do, if I do the white with the red accents, the thing that I've used, I think that's what Vagrant has for the player, is the white with the red accents. It's a very visible combination, I feel like. So you do like, I don't know, that. So that stands out, and then even if it goes over here, the red stands out on the dirt pretty well. So I think, yeah, for visibility, that might be the best option. Another option is to go blue. I can make the accents blue. That definitely stands out. I could also make the body blue, but I'm not sure how I feel about a blue dinosaur looking thing. Alright, so let's try and swap in the white and see how that looks. So it's white. I didn't already do this, so. Only problem is the eye. So I guess, do I give it like blue eyes or something? And then I can give it the white, I don't know. Which way do I want this to go? Gray? And then put it like an orange into a red. You know, one of the most difficult things to draw for my last Steam game, Drawn on Abyss, was the player character. It was just figuring out the colors. Okay, those colors look decent, I think. I need to fix the eye. And then maybe I can just get away with this color there. What happens if I do like yellow or orange? There's that, and then there's that. Okay, that looks a little bit weird. I think the gray is the way to go on that. Alright. Now, so yeah, the question here is going to be, how do I want to do the eyes? Because normally you would want white, but then it's already white. Now there's this little cheat I can do where you put in real white on top of the fake white. That doesn't work. Now another thing I can do is I can change the head color. If I make the head color, I don't know, yellow. And actually wait. No. Let's try this. Not a fan of gray. That yeah, I don't like that it's gray. Let's try brown. Well, the only problem is that the rest of the body's on the gray scale. Let's try the brown though. The brown's gonna blend in with the sand though. I could do a green, a brighter green, maybe. Let's see how that looks. Because the brighter green's only used in a few places. And then actually if I'm using that color, I can go back to this. And then the eye can be white. So more of like a lime green I could possibly get away with there. Can do like lime green and red. Does that actually work? If it does, that would be cool. Because then it's like the same colors still, sort of. It's like green, but not really. I could try that. I have like a palette swap script somewhere that I could use. Do I have that screenshot still on my clipboard? No, I don't. Alright, wait, hang on. Let's grab the game. Take a screenshot. New paint. Grab that screenshot. And I caught him blinking. Okay, let's throw this on here and see what happens. Wait, here. And it needs to be like way bigger. 400%. Nope, that's not gonna work. That is, even though the bright green doesn't appear in the grass here, it's too close. And it just looks like the grass. That's not gonna work, yeah. I have a video about pixel art if you want to look at that. I'm not making like a proper tutorial. I thought about making like a more tips video, but I think I like tried to start writing one, and then I noticed that I really did cover most of my tips in that other pixel art video that I have. Yeah, so I think, wait, I'll leave this here. Might need this later. So what are my options here? So I can do white, but then the biggest problem with white is the eye. Now maybe I just got to put up with that. And now I haven't really tried black yet. It's an albino dinosaur. So let's throw this in here and see what happens. So we've got resize 400. That one does work. And then I can also put it like over here, and it probably works because of the red accents. It is awkward because it looks like there's a hole in the stomach almost, because it... Oh, I need to... That should be actually gray, not brown at that point, probably. Yeah. So that actually does work, and I can just leave the eye the way it is. Now, just for reference, I want to see what black would look like. So let's try black. Oh wait, first of all, let me just fix the stomach here. That would be the color. All right. Black would be... How would I do this? Would I do it from the gray as the highlights? Because I can't use the darkest black immediately. I think that's how I would do it. And then I can go use it now like this. And so in this one I can get away with the stomach. And that one, that looks all right to me. And actually, I wonder if that is the way to go. Let's see how it looks in the game. So here's the other thing again. Just copy that, paste. Resize 400. All right, got that, and stands out even better right here. I do feel like it's a little bit hard to see in the grass. Let me try. I do like the colors more, I feel like. So part of the problem really is the stomach portion, because it's such a large part. If I switch it to like even this color, that will probably help a lot. Yeah. So I can just color fill this. that helps a fair bit. All right. So the question now is which one? So can I do like a poll here? How do I do a poll? Is it? Oh, here we go. So white or black? So you guys pick. I'm curious what you guys think. What if I add an outline to the character that remains the negative of the background color at all time? It would always contrast. That would look. That wouldn't fit with the game. It wouldn't look right. Yeah, just inverting colors like that normally doesn't look very good. There's a reason why you need color palettes. Now, what is a tactic that people will use is a double outline, where you have one black outline and one white one, so that on all backgrounds it stands out. But I don't think an outline is the way to go here. I think color is the correct way to go. One of my concerns, so something I'm just not thinking about, is that there's going to be a area that's got snow in it, and so this might be a problem there. But so the way it's going to work is the first area is like this all this green area, and then the second one's going to be kind of like the season. So the first one's like summer, second's fall, third is winter, and then the last area though is going to be like a void area. There's a reason for that, but so the third area is white and the last area is black, so it's going to be a bit of a problem. Oh, now that I think about it, I have another problem I got to think about. I might have to do white here because, let me see. So, what, Yawnoc? I have a screenshot I can use. Copy image. Alright. I need this because you could probably see the problem here now. I think I might have to do white. So if I take the black one and I put it over here, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. You can see it, but it's very obviously not a good mix. So I think what I'll have to do is when I get to making the area with snow, I need to be pretty careful with how I handle the snow. I'm trying to remember, like, how do most games handle this? A game that comes to my mind is like Crosscode, because I know they have a bunch of different areas, like places with snow, places with like bright green and trees and stuff. Let me see what they do here. Crosscode. I want to look at the sprites because they don't have a problem with that, I don't think. Here's Crosscode. It's in my Steam library. Okay, so actually, it looks like the way that they handled it was by using red, white, and blue. You mix enough colors, and then it'll kind of stand out anywhere. Now, right here, that visibility is not great. You've got, and actually, I almost wonder if the reason why, not like, these colors were chosen for the player was just so that it actually does stand out everywhere and you can always spot the player. Because when you've got white can blend in some places, usually it stands out a fair bit, but then the secondary, they have two secondary colors here, the red and the blue, and you're not going to find those two colors like next to each other very often. The closest you might find that I can think of is like maybe if you have like a volcano area that's like an island, so you got like blue water and molten lava pouring into it or something like that, but that's not like an actual area in this game. Yeah, they really do just take advantage of the fact that the player is red, white, and blue. So maybe the trick here is that I need to add more more colors. And if you look, I think some of the other characters blend in more, but that's less of an issue because you don't need to see where your other characters are. It doesn't matter as much. Because in this game you do have to dodge stuff that's like flying at you. Mine much more so, but so your actual player position is kind of important. But yeah, let's see if I can figure out how to add more colors in here. So what's the poll say? The poll is 57% for white and 43% for black. Yeah, so black is not gonna be an option because now that I think about it, because of this problem here. Now, maybe what I can do is black and white. So what if the head were like one color and then the body were the other? So the trick in the double outline, let me see if I can demonstrate this. So on a double outline, is there an easy way to do this? Probably not. There's an A sprite, but I'm not using A sprite right now. Whatever, I'll do it like on the legs or something just to demonstrate. So if you do like a double outline, it'll look a bit chunky, but you do like a double outline, and then on any background it'll stand out because it'll either the black will stand out or the white will stand out. Now that's kind of ugly in practice and it removes a lot of shape because everything just kind of gets rounded. So what I'm kind of thinking right now is what if I just make the head and body different colors. So like you get a white head. Is there a chin in there? That's the whole thing. Get a white head or something. And then, actually might be able to do the white stomach too, but then if the legs are dark, it's fine. So that would stand out. The question is, how would I split that so that I can get away with it? I think that's the closest I can in terms of the body, but it almost looks like he's wearing pants or something. You really want to be rich while doing what you love. You just want to know for confirmation, do I consider myself rich? Not really. For my age, I guess, but not generally. I've got, well, I'm kind of working two jobs, so, and I'm in for the US, a moderate cost of living area, which is good. But I've only been working for a little bit, so I wouldn't consider myself rich. And I mean, there's always going to be a trade-off. It's either unless you get lucky and like what you like doing is something that pays really well, you're probably going to be forfeiting some amount of money if to do what you want to do. And game development is notoriously difficult to make money in. So it's not the place to be if you're trying to be rich. A blue, yeah, the blue could work, but a blue dinosaur, I don't like the idea of a blue dinosaur. Let's just throw that in and see what happens. And I'm going to spend this whole stream just playing with colors, because, colors. Now, that does actually, it solves a lot of problems if I do blue. And actually the red, white, and blue thing, that is the crosscode colors. So it does actually solve all the problems. I just don't know how I feel about having a blue character. A blue dinosaur is a strange one. What was the white and black poll about? The color for the character. No context, Fluffy. Alright. That would be funny though if it were a short and just take it out of context. It's just white versus black poll. I might go with blue though, even though I don't like blue as the color for the character. It just kind of works for color reasons. Although there will be, I think I'll use a fair bit of blue in the snowy areas for some of the shading on the snow. Alright, well, let's throw in, well, let's get rid of this thing. Let's throw this in and see how this looks color-wise. Oh, did I get rid of it again? Why did I keep doing that? Alright. So, let's try this again. With blue this time. Man, I do not like how the blue looks on my second monitor. It looks better on my colorful monitor, but once I put it on my monitor that doesn't have as good color, it looks pretty bad. But although colors are relative to their surroundings, so let's see what it looks like in here. I mean, it does its job in standing out. Actually, no. The brightness of it blends in with the too much with the dirt. I almost feel like the stomach has to be red. Because the red you can see fine because it's darker. So I do like the white blue works well here. Kind of. Actually, no, when you zoom out like this, you can't really spot the player, which is concerning. You can spot like the chest, for example, but the player does not really stand out. So I think there's still work that needs to be done there. I think I'm going to have to do some mix of colors unless I add new stuff to the palette. And actually, wait, here, let me show you something. So here's where I had this problem before, and you can see, well, first of all, the player is very small in this game, but then second of all, I was really struggling to find a good color. This is the worst offender right here. I think did I use a brown? No, it is on the palette. It's not in the terrain here. You can see it in some other places on some of the enemies, but yeah, it does. It blends in pretty badly. Why is it different sizes? This right here looks fine. And the whole reason that those white pixels that are for the horns and the eyes are there is just to give visibility. And I normally don't have too many issues with visibility playing myself once you get used to it. And this is probably worse than Yawnoc in terms of that. But yeah, what? I think the strategy is going to have to be mix in a lot of different colors. So to do that, I could partially change the player design, but I think so. One option here. Well, let's see how the red looks if I put that on the stomach. That does not look very good. I like the white on the stomach. That's the problem. I'm almost thinking I have to do the black legs. But then, yeah, so I can do the black legs and then maybe a white body. So I can do like gray there. So I did already draw this up earlier, but I think this might be the best in terms of visibility. Actually, I could do like a darker color for the belly, or like an in-between. It doesn't look very good. Those colors would work for visibility though. And actually, wait, here's an idea. What if instead of going that dark, I go just a little bit lighter so the legs don't clash too much with the body? And then because so there's going to be the problem is that the dark colors will still be like pretty much invisible on the high life arena because that's just like pure black. So anything that's black in there, or look, pure black is actually probably no-go because of that. So I have to go a little bit brighter. Now I could do like a grayscale thing, I guess, where the legs are just substantially darker. Now that is, like, I think that would work, maybe. The brightness will blend regardless in some of the scenarios. Alright, let's see. Resize. And what I can do actually with colors like this is I could actually switch the... Maybe I can switch this to brown scaled. So in both places you can see the player fine. Actually in this spot it's a little bit more difficult. It's not too bad. What happens if I make the head white and it just gets darker the lower you go down? That's certainly an option. Man, I'm gonna spend this whole stream just messing with colors because this is one of the hardest decisions to make, is getting this right. Oh wait, no, I was gonna just do the head. But like that part. And then, so this would be that color. Wait, no. Wait, actually, no, that might work. So lighten up these a bit. Go one step darker right here. Okay, that I can get away with. And then maybe if I connect these a bit like that. Or I don't know if I would have to do that, maybe. Does look, if I put that pixel there, it looks like arms almost. Alright, so let's take a look at brown. If I did this in brown, I'm curious how that would look. So then I go down a color. And then go down to here. And that blends in a not so good way. Actually, wait. Can I just... I can do that, and then if I switch some of the colors around. I could put on, well, what color I could do yellow. And then orange. So, no, I think that's got to be orange first. Or I could go, yeah, so orange here. What color complements brown? I feel like gold does pretty well. I don't have my color theory memorized. What color is the Voidigo bird? The Voidigo bird is red. Red and green. I mean, that's what I already had, but that I have to mix in some brighter and darker colors because of the way I'm drawing the terrain. If you want a truly colorful environment, you have to make some sacrifices in terms of the character design. Yeah. I already mentioned I don't want to add an outline to the sprite because it reduces visibility of the shape. Like the shape is more bulbous. And then also there's not an outline on anything else. And like just the whole outlines contradict with the style of the game pretty much. So it's too low resolution for outlines. I can show you what happens if you do outlines in a game where the resolution is too low for it. Hang on. This is an interesting example of outlines kind of not working out too well. It visually doesn't look very good to me. Because of the outlines. Different shade of blue? Potentially. What's the proper way to rotate sprites, like guns, for example? I mean, I just use Pygame.transform.rotate. Just don't, make sure you're not rotating and then overwriting your original with the rotated. You need to always be working off of the original, or else you'll lose the basically the image quality will slowly degrade until it's just a blob or whatever. Yeah, top-down games do have 8 sprites a lot of times. Although in mine I just have right and left, and I can get away with that. Platformers are easy to solve because you just need to reduce contrast on back layers. And that's what I did on Drawn Down Abyss, is that I turned down the contrast on the back, and that helped a bit. But I don't want the whole world to not have any color, because I need the player to be visible. I think it's nicer to make sacrifices on the player. Zelda games? Which Zelda games? Like the originals? There is a shadow on the player. Wait. Look. There's a shadow right there. Now it goes under the grass as opposed to over it, which it should, but and I guess that helps a bit. But yeah, visibility right here is not great. Oh, also something else I gotta keep in mind is that the stomach gets blocked by the gun most of the time. You pretty much only see it like if your gun is down and you're running. Or you can see it if you do that. Yep. Now this is a situation where if I had a human main character, things would be a lot easier, because it's a lot easier to get away with different colored legs on a human character, because pants exist. Whereas this is a dinosaur, it's not supposed to be wearing pants. My grass has too much saturated noise. I mean, that's part of it, but then that's part also what makes the game look good. I don't know if you're talking about the flowers or just the brightness of the grass itself. Oh, it destroyed itself. But yeah, that's a lot of, and the trees are kind of the same way. That's kind of what makes the game look good. Now, I guess there could be an argument for making to me, making it more in line with the trees is an option, maybe, and making parts of this darker, but then that's even more contrast. Yeah. So I kind of don't want to mess with the grass, because I do like the way it looks. I would much rather have the players' art be designed around that. And actually, the gray from the machines works pretty well. Since there's nothing in this game that is gray, other than the machines and maybe some rocks, it ends up working really well. Yeah, so, but I don't want to put that color on the player. All right, where was I? So was I on gray? I was on the gray gradient. I think that was one of the more promising ones I had recently. So the gray gradient, that is an option. And let's go and make the legs just a little bit darker, I guess. So the brown version of the gradient did not look very good. Now, an option that I do have is to make these accents blue instead of red. And actually, the enemy projectiles are red, so red is actually kind of like a danger color in this. And blue goes better with gray than red does. I will say that. Let's see how this looks. I don't know if I like that. It just looks kind of unnatural to use blue on a dinosaur. Here we go. All right. So if you zoom out, it's easy to track the legs here. The I do think that the red as a color to me stands out the most in any circumstance. So the red accents I think actually might be better. Here, let me undo the bluing. My neighbors are being noisy. All right. So, let's see. I think the red actually might be better. Now there is the option to just make it all red. Like a red player. And I think I was looking at that earlier. So I could do like a red body and a white head. And then, wait, hang on. Let's try this. So we do red here, or wait. This is gonna be a little bit scuffed way I swap these colors. So we put red here in all these places. And then right here we put white. So it's a little bit of an inversion. And then we grab the darker red and put it here. And we can actually put this color there. Now that might be the way to go. Hang on, does this actually work? I may have found it. Let's see. Just two colors, white and red. Okay, it definitely does blend in with the sand a bit because of the way the white works, but there's so much red that I can get away with it. In both circumstances, you can spot the player pretty easily. The only thing is like an outline might help a bit. But I don't want to go that far. I think that's about as good as I can get, and it'll work for all the levels too, because or all the areas, not levels. So we had the summer, fall. The fall is going to be the sketchiest one, but that's going to be more brown than red. There will be some red in the trees, but the trees are not going to be with the player. most of the ground is going to be brown in the fall one. In the winter, it'll be fine. Void will be fine. So all of it works out fine. I think. And then, yeah, so just a contrast of... Oh, wait, you know what? I can maybe go a step further and make the legs a shade darker. Because the darker legs on some of the other things actually helped a lot, I feel like. So if I go with this color scheme where it just gets, it almost looks like the legs are shaded because it's just one shade down. And I can get away with that. And that helps a lot in this dirt area. Now the player does look a little bit noisy over here, but with all these lighter accents, the white stuff, it stands out in the grass. You can see it pretty well. So if you're at, I guess, the scale, I can see it pretty well. So I think I'm going to go with that, finally. It only took me an hour of trying different colors, although I think that's about... You have no idea how long I spent on Drown Down Abyss trying to end up on that brown. Alright. Is this MS Paint? Yes. Is it a Twitch stream? No. You're on YouTube. I'm catching up on chat. It's hard not to use outlines in top-down games. You can add outlines to just the actors and interactables. I've done that in other games too, I think. I just don't... that's just not the style of this game. Let's see if I have... Oh, Exponent is an example. So I did outlines on everything for this one. But the player's the same color as the grass. It's not too big of an issue, because, I mean, it's just, the game's not too serious. But yeah, this one's got all outlines on players and stuff. What else did I do that on? Oh, is that the only example? That might be the only example I have. Interesting. Yeah. But like, okay, so Moonrabbit Collection, I liked not like. To me, the world feels a lot less immersive as soon as you have to add outlines. So the game just looks way better if you can get by without them. And Moonrabbit Collection is nice because I had a black background, so I could do pretty much whatever I wanted in terms of color, which was amazing. That's why I like to work with like kind of stuff in caves and stuff like that, because once you got a dark background, you can get away with a lot in terms of the foreground. I don't know what CS50 is. The shadow is almost not noticeable. I think that's because you're watching on a stream. When it's full screen in front of you, to me it's pretty noticeable. Now I might go and darken the shadows a bit. I don't know. At some point. For now, I think it's fine though. The enemy machines don't have shadows now that I think about that. That might be something I have to address at some point. How long is the code? I mean, it's like somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000 lines probably. if you include the framework. I have a video for learning Pygame if you already know Python. The 6-hour one's decent. Try more natural tone like green or brown. Granted, it might blend in. So yeah. That's specifically the problem. Is that green or brown are exactly the colors I use for the floor. I'm trying to redesign it, not add a new look. Why not more orange? I just don't like the way the orange was mixing with the other colors. What color goes well with orange? Pretty much nothing. Yeah, nothing really goes well with orange. Wait. Where's the color wheel? What's the opposite of orange? Is blue. But I don't like orange and blue. I don't like that as a combination. Yeah, just to me, orange doesn't go well with anything. And actually, if you look at my games, I think it is fair to say that orange might be my least favorite color. I don't think I use orange at all. Like, ever. I use gold and I use brown. I don't use orange. Like, the flowers aren't even orange. They're yellow and red. And like this game, oh no, I avoided. I thought I used orange on some of the trees, but I avoided it. There's no orange in here. Well, orange is also just not a very natural color. I feel like a strong orange. Yeah, that's interesting. I just don't use orange. Did I draw all of this with MS Paint only? Yeah, I think so. I'll animate with Sprite, but this specific sheet I think is all MS Paint. No, I didn't use PX Editor. I want to update PX Editor at some point. How did I avoid the staircase pattern while moving diagonally? If you have enough speed, you don't notice it. So just make sure things are moving fast enough. That's one of the things with pixel art, is that you want to avoid slowness, because that's when things start to look like they're stuttering. Am I only working on visuals in the stream? No. Once I actually update the player artwork, I'll do other stuff. I'm just spending way longer than I anticipated on the player recoloring. I'm almost tempted to just entirely redesign the player. Only problem is I've already shown this design to a lot of people. And actually, regardless, this is going to look weird as soon as people see the color swap. The head just becomes albino in reference to the green. What's wrong with previous color versions of the character is that it blends in. It's very dark, and dark actually worked pretty well. It would work decently well. Actually, for comparison, do I have? Oh, I don't. But once you put it like right there, that's rough. But you don't sand up there, fortunately. Do I draw and animate all those sparks and particles? No, they're generated in code. So the edges above the water look rigid. Yeah, I mentioned that at the start of the stream that I'm gonna have to adjust those. Side-scroller game reference doesn't really apply to top-down ones. Well, there's valid color composition points that can be made, but there are also differences. And actually, people were complaining about me making too many platformers, and they were. What I saw more was people insulting me on the basis of code, but the real reason I didn't make very many top-down games is because the art style was different. I have no issues with coding top-down stuff. It's just the art's tricky. Because I've been doing platformers, so. Yeah, so. The only thing I don't like about this color combination is that it's kind of like, it makes me think of Valentine's Day or something. It's just a little bit pink is the problem. But that's just kind of the color palette. So I think in context it doesn't look as bad. Because the black is kind of giving, like this pure black here is giving context to the color that it doesn't match the actual game. Yeah, so let's go ahead and see if I can swap these colors. If I don't like it, I can just pull the old stuff off of Git. Let's pull Yawnoc. I think I've just got this stuff in Aspray, right? Images. Oh, do I not have this animated in Aspray? Really? I'm surprised. Where is the player? Where did I put this? Entities. Player. There's gotta be an Aspray thing for this. What? There's no way I did this by hand. Did I forget to save it? That's pretty bad. I mean, I can load it back in, I guess. Title, turn. Yeah, these are not gonna contain it. Alright, well, let's look in here real quick and see if there's, yeah, run reverse. Do I use run reverse? Hang on. Run reverse. Do I use it? I do. Yeah, okay. It's running, but backwards. Let's see if I can figure out how to load this all into Aspray. It's unfortunate that I can't, well, that I don't just have the thing saved. I thought I did. Can I just like, I'm gonna, it does work. Agree. Yo, that worked. Nice. Alright, well that solves that problem. Let me just export as, and we'll put it in the Aspray folder where it belongs. Is it Aspray? I need the player idle. Alright, so here's where I drop that in. So I need to do the recoloring here, and I got to do it for every frame. And the thing is I can't, before I was planning on just doing a palette swap, but I can't do a palette swap now because the body, the head, and the legs incorporate the colors differently. There's no like one-to-one mapping. It's completely different. Wait a second. I just had an idea. What if I just invert all these colors right now? What does the inversion of this look like? Here, I'll put this stuff on the green for now. This is probably my last experiment with color. I just need, that green is just a placeholder so I can swap in the white here. And then red would go here. And then there would be, you can actually see the eye if you do that. The only weird thing is the stomach. But the stomach does have to be red or else it's not, the color's not balanced. I connect it like that though. The colors on this are more pleasing to me. I will say that. But I guess the more character design side of it looks nicer on this one to me. I don't know. I think I'll stick with this one though. That's an interesting variation that I could have done. Alright, so let's undo this and figure out how on earth I'm gonna get these colors updated. I think, wait. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open up MS Paint on the side and I'm gonna use it just to hold my colors. Alright, so I'm gonna leave this here and that's gonna hold my colors. Stomach is the same color, fortunately. The head is going to be a different color. This is an easy one to fix, though. I'll start with the head, and then I can do these parts. And then I can actually use the stomach color to put in those parts. Actually, I actually have everything I need to just swap it in place, pretty much. Almost everything, actually. Not quite. There's one darker color I don't have, I think. Or is that two? There we go. So that is the player. Now I gotta recolor the other 13 frames. Fortunately, the running animation has way fewer frames. There's a lot of repeating in this. So actually I only have to do 7 of them, and then the other half are the same except there's no blinking. So yeah, as long as I get through these ones, I'm good. All right, so time to recolor. This is the same frame. I need to be paying more attention to what's going on here. So this is also the same frame except it's blinking. So the way that's done is by just drawing the shadow there. That's a little bit strange. And okay, so this one does actually need recoloring. Such a long neck. Some of these animation quirks may look a bit stranger with different colors. All right. And then eyes open. This is also a different pose. So recoloring again. And whoa, did I miss? Oh, I'm on the brush, not the paint bucket. Okay. So 8 and 1 should be the same. So I just gotta do 7. Wait. That's not correct. There we go. Okay, so now I can take 1 and put it on 7. Or 8. 8. There we go. And then 9 should be 2. And then 10 should be 3. And 11 should be 4. Except the eyes are open. That's the difference. And then 12 is 5. Yeah. With an open eye. And then 13 is 6. Hey, how did I end up with an extra frame in here? What happened? Something went wrong somewhere. Let's just take a look at the animation. So So 8 is 1, 2 is 9, 3 is 10, 4 is 11, 5 is starting to go down, and that's 12. 6 should be 13. 7 should be 14. Oh. Fourteen is an extra. Okay, so this frame right here is the odd one out. Took me a moment. All right, so 7 goes over to 14. Oh, so it's the way I copied it. So I gotta like do it like that, or else it will get mad. So now, got the animation back, yay. No, I don't wanna can I, that should be here. Yes. And then export as, and then we do PNG, images, and then entities, player, idle, PNG, and then we just do image 0, and it should overwrite all of them. Export, yup. And now the player should be red. There's this image that I have to do. This one is easy. I can do this real quick. Oh wait, I gotta do the, I was doing it in a different order than before. All right. So there's a new jump image. And believe it or not, yes, there is a jump animation for the end of the level. You can't jump as a player, but it'll happen to you sometimes. All right. So if I remember correctly, the other run animation is the same as the first one, except backwards. Something like that. Is it? I'm not sure. No, because the I think the feather looking thing should be having a different pattern. All right. Would they even? I don't know. All right. So let's just open up this here. Let's just agree. There we go. All right. What is going on here? It's sideways. There's perspective. Oh no. I know, wrong color. There it is. All right. I'm gonna probably look after this and see if I can get away with figuring out how the old what is it? The old backwards run animations were made. And then, all right. This is the third one. It's only 4, fortunately. And then if I can just get the, yeah, just reverse it to get the other one, then I'll be done pretty fast here. All right. Now for this one. All right. And there we go. It's a running animation. Behold. Wait, what's this red pixel doing here? Where's that coming from? Oh, that belongs to this. There we go. So there's the running animation. I can probably just hit save. And then, so now the real question is run reverse just the same thing, but with a different ordering? So the one way I can find out is just drop them in here. Why is there only 3? Skip. No, that's not what I wanted. Hang on. What's going on here? Why is it only giving me 3? So the first one's separate. Oh, why is it 0 instead of image 0? What's going on there? That's probably why. Anyways, so let's take a look at our animation here. So we've got the leg down one. That looks the same to me. You've got that one. Actually, I should probably zoom in a similar manner. A little bit more. There we go. And then we've got this one. And this one. Okay, so it is actually just reversing the animation, which means take this, go over here, delete these, and what the? So here's how I'll do this. So this one will become, I'll put like a 0 on the end. So this one becomes 3, 2, 1, 0. There we go. The player's artwork has been updated. So it's definitely more visible on the grass than before. The sand's not great, but it's not, you know where you are. I think this looks alright. I think that works. Yeah. Alright. That's one problem solved. Woohoo. Spent an hour and a half trying to change the player cart because it's not a whole lot of choices. Let's replace red with gold. Gold will blend in too much with the ground. How do I generate those effects in code? I have videos for that. Look at my Sparks video and my particles one. How to make my face like that? I coded it with Pygame and Modern GL and MediaPipe. It's looking like a tribal warrior with a bone mask. That's fine. That is an acceptable like visual, I guess, because it's in a forest. And the idea is that you're fighting the invading machines. Wasn't this from a game jam? I'm uploading it to Steam. It was for the competition with Blackthorn Prod. There's a lot more I want to do to the game than what was in that version. My pixel art's usually MS Paint. I was just using Aspray for animations there. How many wishlists do I want my game to have before release? I mean, my goal right now is kind of about 10,000. I'm at 7.5 thousand. I think, well, that's my goal prior to when it would appear on upcoming. And I think with 10,000, I would appear on popular upcoming. And then that should get me a few thousand more, hopefully. Why do I use Pygame instead of Godot? I work faster with Pygame, simple as that. How do I price my games? Well, my old rule of thumb for buying games is also what I use for pricing games, which is the amount you divide or you multiply the amount of hours of gameplay, a good gameplay that the game has by $1. So people are paying $1 an hour. Although with inflation, in theory, that should be a bit higher. And actually with Yawnoc, what it's probably going to be is you get probably more than an hour of gameplay per dollar, because I'm planning on selling it for $5. I think realistically $10 would be the more appropriate price, but then I think I'm fine with doing $5. I could probably make more if I sold it for $10, but I think I would rather have more people play it. Yeah, I mean, generally, I guess all of my games, what is it? They're all $5? What is it? I pulled down the price on some of them over time. So Drawn Down Abyss is currently $5. Super Teterbra is, I think, $4, yeah. There is regional pricing though, so shouldn't be too expensive for anyone. I've been making games for 10 years. If you look at my 10-year video, so you can see how that progression looked. Yeah, my level editor is right here. Here's my level editor. There's the exit, here's the item shops, here's the spawn. Yep. But yeah, so I got the player redone. We've got that. So the next thing I wanted to do today was to, and I think I'll do like 3 things today. Everything else is not going to take as long as that. Artwork is such a pain sometimes. So you can't really see it here. I gotta kill this thing. Alright. So I want to make it so that if you look, oh, did I get, oh, here's an example. Look at this grass right here. Look at it, where this grass spawned. That is not acceptable. So I need to fix that. I need to stop the grass from spawning over other things. I am curious though as to why it even got placed here to begin with, because I don't think that should have happened. Something's a little bit off with the placements of tiles here. So it looks like, if it's placed up here, that means it probably came from the one below it, or from the one on the left. I'm not sure why it thought it could spawn that there. It shouldn't have. So that's like dead center on an open tile. Although you look right here, and I got the same problem, it's going way too high. So a lot of these are going too far up. I'm not sure what's causing that. I think I'm gonna have to take a look at how they're placed. And if you look, None of these are placed too far down so that they're hovering over the wall there, which is a sign that I think everything's off a bit. So you can see that tile floating to the left a little bit. That's not a huge issue. I'm looking to see, yeah, this one, is that going over to the right? I can't tell. No, that's probably coming from the tile below it. None of them are hanging over on the right side. It's a little, I could put like a little secret over here maybe. That would be funny. Just like, I don't know, a chest or something. I don't know. I could put, oh, I know what I want to put there. I want to put a goat that I will probably put a reference to something in. Alright, so I want to see if I can reload this and get one of those things hanging over the right side, because that will tell me a lot about what's going on here. I don't need to collect the scrap. Alright. Let's see, are any hanging over to the right? So there's some on the left here. They're not too far to the left though. There really aren't that many right walls though. So here's like this one. It's like 1 pixel there. There's that rock. That's going over to the right, definitely. If you look, the it's going up and to the right. So it looks like they can go either to the right or left, off by half, and then up, off by like a full tile. So let's go and look at the code and see what's going on there. We've got our where did I spawn that? I think it's in tile map. I need to organize this code at some point. Actually, I probably shouldn't have to. The game's probably not going to be large enough to need multiple folders. Where is it? Right here. So, if tile group is in the core sources, so first of all, let's see what this is. So the decor can only spawn on dirt, and it picks the tile location and adds random at random. I don't think that should be there. Oh, so here's the thing about that rock, is because it did see this part here, and it didn't know that there was anything on top of it. So you can spawn stuff halfway inside a wall. So it is actually off by half, because I think all the decor is centered. Well, wait, no, these are the wrecks, though. I think I'm giving... Let me see how the decor works. I think originally it was centered, and now it's not. Yeah, so... Wait. Ground decor. It does get centered. Relative to the rect. And actually, I'm thinking maybe that shouldn't be what happens. So the top left corner should be, it'll be perfectly centered if it's offset by 0. So yeah, this is the correct math for here. But then if I go up here, I think this needs to be the actual rect, because the actual rect is what's used for looking up the coordinates and the or looking up the tiles from the map, even though they're off grid. So I think I just removed these. So, well, the side effect of this is that the shadow placement's gonna be a bit funky. It means I gotta do that. Oh wait, let's take this off for now and then I'll place it dynamically afterwards, because this is going to be wrong for the shadow placement for now, but I think we can, yeah, fix that. So the shadow needs to be based on the, this is going to be some funny math. So plus image.get width minus shadow image.get width. And then you want to divide that by 2. And I think that actually gets you to the right spot. Oh, you also gotta have integer division, or else it's gonna look jittery. We can use get height here. Okay. Oh wait, it's plus, not minus on the Y. So, wait, no, not there. Here. Wait, is that correct? So you want it to be at the bottom. Oh, right. So you don't want to parentheses on this one. But then there's a reason there's a -1 there. So the shadows are placed interestingly. I would prefer it one more to the right. So we're gonna go 2 up and 1 more to the right over here. Actually, here's what I'll do. Instead of adding a +1 right there, I'm gonna add it into here, I think, as a plus 0.5, because it's a rounding thing, I think. Is that not enough? Okay, maybe it wasn't a rounding thing. Okay, we'll do +1. Yeah, that looks better. Yep, there we go. So now the question is the decor still hanging over the water? Because I think I fixed the placement. Part of that, I think, was just a bug that came through when I redid how the decor is represented in code. Alright. So I'm looking. They all seem appropriately placed to me. There's some that are a little bit hanging over there. Oh, this is not a great one. I wonder if I should reduce the vertical range on these. No, but I can't do that because then there'll be some weird side effects if I do that. I think what really just needs to happen is it needs to look at the neighbors and not go. I need to, like, if, like, for example, if there's no open tile below, it'll cap the offset to, what would it be, random times 0.5, so just 0.5 max, so that it doesn't get pushed down that far. But that means the problem I've got now is that all of these are placed incrementally as instead of afterwards, and I think I need to do it afterwards. Yeah, it's got to be after so that I can look at the neighbors, because if I can't see the neighbors, then I'm a little bit stuck. Yep. Yes, I custom made the level editor. Am I working any VS Code? Am I using any VS Code extensions? No. I don't use ECS. How do you make a colorable particle? Look at my palette swap video. You can use that technique. I said the layers for the water and the land were merged together, so maybe that's why the plant spawned there. No, that's not why. It's definitely an overhang thing. It's because if you look, there's not any in the like wide open water. If you looked like in the ocean looking part, there's no plant spawning there. Yeah. But I need to take a break for a moment. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do is move this part out into doing it afterwards. So, and I can do it when in this other loop here that I've got that goes through all of the tiles on the map, and just literally. So we know it'll be in the floor group. So we do if x y in self.floor, and then if we'll do tile equals self.floor xy, and then you can say if it's not gonna be tile group like that, it's gonna be based on the tile up here somewhere. So Is it type? I think it's tile.type is what it'll end up being. Yep. So we'll say if tile.type is in the decor sources. And while we're at it, we can say if x and y is in floor, and we can remove the stuff that's hidden behind walls pretty easily by just doing, oops, we can say not in, and then we can say self.solids. We can do solids, or we can do walls. I think, where's the back wall? Just gonna do walls. We don't want to spawn them on the back wall, which means I think solids is the way to go, actually. So that will prevent it from spawning them in places where we can't see them, which will save on performance a little bit. And then here's our random spawn chance. And what we do here, is we need to get the neighbors. So neighbors equals x, y in self dot. How should I do this? Okay, this is gonna be a bit messy. All right, for offset in n tile n4. I think this is the one I need. No, I know. What is it? I have some constants for this stuff. Oh yeah, it is tile n4. For offset in tile n4. Can do neighbors equals that, and then we can do neighbors append x plus offset 0, y plus offset 1. Oh, well, let's do look equals that, and we have to qualify in the same ways the stuff above. So look in self.floor and look not in self.solids. And then that will give us like true or false, and that will tell us if, the actually final and here is the floor location, the type in the core sources. So if, well, we can go off to the neighbors now and say, well, first let's run this and see if it crashes or not. So it doesn't crash, that means it can do all this stuff fine. It still places all the decor too, which is a good sign. So now we need to limit the offsets here. So offset equals, and we'll do random.random by self.tile size. And then this happens twice, once for each axis. And now I can just replace this. This was offset 0 and offset 1. Now what we have to do to stop them from overhanging the water is say if not neighbors. Okay, so I gotta check the order on the N4 here. So we've got right, left, down, up is the order. So if neighbors, so this is to the right. So if there's no neighbor to the right, then the offset 0 equals min offset 0, 0.5. So we can't go over 0.5 there. And then if not neighbors 1, we do a max and we say we can't go less than 0.5. And then actually what should happen realistically is that we remove it if any of these violate. So instead I'll do, because that corrects the distribution, because otherwise you're going to get a bunching up of tiles in weird positions when they're bordering water. So the correct thing to do is to actually just remove it. So yeah, if there's like water to the right or whatever, and offset 0 is greater than 0.5, continue. And then we do this, and offset 0 is less than 0.5, continue. And actually I'll do like 0.6 and 0.4 just to give it a little bit of space. And then so 2, did I say it was down up or up down? Down up. So offset 1 is greater than 0.4. This is the last one. Neighbor 3, offset 1 is less than 0.6. Wait, that's backwards. So greater than 0.6, yeah. And all right. So in theory, there should be none of these overhanging anything now. There also appears to be less overall. Wait, what is that one doing? That's not correct. So something's wrong. I need to get to the other area to get a better idea of what's going on here. Because I didn't see any overhanging before, and now they are, even though technically it's the same positions. Or it should be the same positions, because I'm just filtering out the core now. Okay, yeah, so it's going like way above. I'm not sure how that's happening. This is going too far left. Do I see any going too far right? This one's going a little bit too far right. So there's a lot of things going wrong here. It's hard to tell which, like where these things are sourcing their positions from. Like which tiles it thinks it's sourcing from. Let's check this math here. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out the offset, because this should play it. Wait, hang on. Wait a second. Am I doing this math right? So you take, this is going to be the top left position of the tile, and then it's the offset, which is going to be multiplied by the tile size, and then you subtract half the image width. Yeah, that's correct. Or should be. But anyways, in theory, if I take out these two parts, then it should be always centered. Let me double check the core logic here. We've got that going on. So that will just put it wherever those coordinates are. So I'm not sure where the math went wrong. It could be that the placement is wrong. So they should all be grid aligned. And here's our problem. This one is still spawning there, even though they're all grid aligned. So now the question is, wait, here's the way to tell what's going on. There we go. Now we can see what's going on. All right. So they're placed way too high. Why are my trees glitching out? Uh-huh. It's only on the left though. Why is that? These ones work fine. If I can walk up and they don't disappear. I need to figure out why those are doing that. Anyways. So it looks like it's like 2 tiles off. Wait, no, it's just 1, I think. No, is it 2 or 1? Or is it a combination of 2 problems? What is it looking at? I'm having a hard time figuring out what it's even doing here. So, is it off to the left, too? So, like, look, there's an empty space here. And there definitely shouldn't be... Well, like, right where I'm standing should be an empty spot. This, I think, is a valid tile. What is going on here? Oh, when we take out those continues, those are probably lowering the chances of those appearing in the more interesting locations. Okay, so what is going on here? We've got every single time, like straight above, there's a 1 tile gap. Now right, left, I see it coming up correctly on both the right and the left, so it's up by 1 tile. So the question is, where's that coming from? What is causing that? So let's look at the tile rendering logic here, because there may be an offset on these. So position by tile size, the offsets pass along, render position, that is that. So that should be the same spot. And if you look in decor, we're using ground decor here. Rect.x, rect.y. There's... Wait, is it 0? Is z... No, the z's not actually offsetting it. It's just the ordering. So I'm not sure... Oh. Did I forget to remove? I thought I deleted this. Oops. So I didn't get everything. That tells you the problem though. So now that I do... Okay, never mind. That doesn't fix it. That's interesting. Anyway, so it's still off by 1. It's 1 too high. So the question is why? What is going on here? Oh, it's because I use location instead of XY. This should be X and Y. That's 100% the reason. There we go. Now, if we add in plus offset 0, plus offset 1, minus image.get width over 2, and then you do it on the height. Get height. Look at that. So now they're like marginally going over the water. It's not a huge issue. Oh wait, no, some of those are pretty bad. But then let's see what happens when I uncomment these. I've got this one on the left here. It'll go over on the left. I'm not seeing it on the right. Oh, no, this one's going over on the right. What? I see a huge gap, like, along here. So I'm curious why right here it doesn't seem to have a problem. So if not tile to the right, I think that's it, right? That's 1. This is -1. If the offset is greater than 0.6. Here, what happens if I invert these? Because there is technically some room for just naturally going over. Like, look, there's this huge space on the left. Why? Yeah, they don't want to go even close to here now. There's no tiles here. That makes sense. The question is, why are they still going so close to the water? Like right here. Like, where's this rock coming from? For the most part, it seems to be working. Is it the left side math is wrong? Neighbors 1 should be the left. And if your offset is less than 0.6, huh? I wish there were a better way to debug this. There's not like an easy way. It's pretty much just keep guessing. Huh. Maybe I can. Maybe it'll make more sense if I go. There's a lot of enemies on this one. If I go to the area with all the water, it'll probably make more sense. Hopefully. Alright. Yeah, it's a lot of bushes. I'm debugging the bushes. That's why there's so many. Alright, so yeah, they're definitely appearing too far left. Alright. So I'm going to try a different approach here, and this is actually the better approach, is to calculate for each one where the bounds of the image would be, and then if it crosses over is when you drop it. So, yeah, like look, there's nothing like on the bottom side or the right side, so it doesn't want to go over on the right side, it's just going over on the left. It's so weird. Anyways, so yeah, here's how I'm gonna do it now. So I'll basically copy this logic, which is just placing the image based on the top left of the rect. There's nothing else special going on there. And then I can use that logic and say, actually, hang on. Just to double check, if I do this, this should mean that all of the images should be aligned to the top left of the tile. And that is what I see, which means that somehow my math is giving me a negative number. Yeah, you see, there's none overhanging the water right now. They're all in the correct position. Which meant that this plus offset 0. Oh, I know why. I was doing this in terms of the random.random and forgetting about the fact it was already multiplied into tile size. Duh. Anyways, so let's go ahead and fix this. Anyways, here's how we do this. Calculate that, put that in, put this in, and now after this, you create a rect. You say if not neighbors 0 and offset 0 is less than, it says there's no neighbor to the right. We say that if rect.right is greater than, is that correct? Yes. Then x by tile size and that should be x plus 1 and greater than or equal to. So if you got tile, if there's not a neighbor on your right, and the right side of the rect for the image is past the right bound of your tile, then you drop it. That's not how you spell continue. All right. And if not neighbors 1, so this is the left, and this is the easier one to do, rect left is less than x by self.tile size, then you continue. That's the easy one. Now we got to do the y-axis. I think it goes like this, and then instead of right it's bottom, instead of left it's top, and instead of x it's y. Now all of those should do the trick, hopefully. Let's see. So it's just placing it randomly on the tile, and what the, how is this guy still over the edge? Here, wait. Let me just clear out these enemies and see how it looks in the other area. There we go. All right. I don't see any overhanging. I'm curious about that one bush I saw. Everything else seems to be placed correctly. So I'm not sure how the math added up on that one bush that was placed weirdly. Because like, even look over here. It goes to the left, down to the pixel that it's being correct. It was just that one that was a bit weird. Now I do need to fix the y coordinates of, or the z coordinates of the bushes. Considering I haven't seen that issue again, I'm tempted to just leave it. It looks like the rest of it. Oh no, here's one right here. Some of these bushes do get placed incorrectly. I'm not sure how. How would that happen? Huh. Was the other one off to the left? No, I think the other one was off to the right, wasn't it? I don't remember. Now, what is acceptable, and actually, now that I think about it, should not have, like, I see this bush, the top of it's going over into the water. That should not be happening based on the logic I wrote, but I find that acceptable personally. So I'll be fine with allowing that. Let's go and fix the Z portion of this first. So the Z portion should be that, where is it? Right here. What was that before? I think it was plus the self.rect.height. Is that it? This is an easy thing to figure out. Oh, no, that's not it. Because now it's all over the player. It's all floating over me. Okay, so that's not it. Oh, because it's divided by the tile size, so it would go right here. So actually, well, instead of doing that, I can just do self.rect.bottom. That's the easy way. So I can check on this one. That looks correct to me, so that's all good. That has been fixed. Now, the next question is, why does this keep happening? How? So we know for a fact it goes over to the left sometimes. So the question is how? And actually, I think the way to figure this out is to take out the y-axis of this. Where's my offset? Yeah, right here. Let's take this out. Or if I put in 0.5, it should be tile aligned. So I don't see any right now. Oh, this guy right here. Wait. Oh. So they're placed high, it looks like, which is fine. Are they placed high? Wait, no, maybe not. So that's a tile there. This is a tile. Where are my tiles? Wait. So this is a tile. The left little highlight right here. So this goes down to here. Interesting. So this is a tile. So it's like in the top right is where this is being placed, is what it looks like. It's like this is a spot. So how is it that they're not, because these are supposed to be getting, oh wait, I forgot I have, didn't I mess with the y-axis? What did I do here? I know I was messing with the y-axis. Or was that just for the shadow? A decor. No, wait, so that should be the rect position. The shadow has some funny math going on. But this should be as is. What on earth? And I mean, I can print this out. I'm pretty sure this should be all 0 for rect.y minus y by self.tile size. Oh wait, no, it shouldn't. That's why that should not be 0.5. It should be 0.5 by self.tile size. There we go. There we go. I did not mean to do that. This is me getting punished for not thinking about Conway's Game of Life while trying to do this. There's a certain way you gotta attack things in order to get them to die off. Alright, so let's look at the left and right stuff that's going on here. You know, it looks correct now. The problem is, it's right here. So is a rect not matching the image? Because here's what happened. Here's what it looks like. It looks like this tile went too far down because it was always on the top part that it was happening. So it looks like a Y problem more than an X problem. The X looks correct to me. I don't see any problems. No tile. No bushes overhanging. So that part looks correct. So if I put this back in on the side and I switch this one to 0.5, we should probably see some issues. So there's probably something I did wrong here. The question is what? Is it? It's down and up, right? Yeah, it's down and then up. So 2 is down, 3 is up. Man. So I'm looking for something that's overhanging inappropriately. This would be faster if I had the shotgun. There we go. Please extraction. Please use extraction in my code. What? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Alright. Wait, what? This looks fine too. Where's the issue? Huh? Oh, I know what it is. It's just a top left corner tile. It's because when you can go down and you can go left, it runs into the corner. That's interesting. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can deal with that. Not really. Well, so I can look up the diagonal and see if that spot's taken. But like, for example, the tile I'm standing on right now, it sees that there's no there's a valid tile below and a valid tile to the left. So it has no idea that there's no valid tile here. So if it went down and left, it might overflow into this spot, which is the problem. The problem is that it has to be able to place something centered right here, or else the grass will visibly be on a grid, which is not what I want. So I gotta be able to allow the grass to spawn like on this little corner here. And the question is, how do I determine if that's appropriate? Because the only way that can happen is if I look at the diagonal. But I don't want to look at the diagonal. Huh. I think what I'll do is I'll just let it overhang for now, and then maybe sometime before release I'll fix that by actually looking at all 8 tiles. That's the correct way to do it. Because I think if I switch it back to this, it's pretty unlikely that you'll see something like that. So this is how it originally looked. Okay, what the... I'm not liking that. Alright. So now if I go here, like, I mean, it's pretty unlikely to see something that's incorrectly placed here. Well, there's one. But for the most part, it's fine. It's not offending as badly as some of the other stuff. All right, so now I'm a little bit curious about those trees that were appearing on the bottom, like were disappearing on my bottom left before. Because I don't seem to be having that problem. Oh, I saw it here. Oh, okay. So something's wrong right there. With, that would be my quads. So where's this? I know where to find that. I'm gonna take a quick look at the chat that I haven't looked in a while. I don't see your other question. Oh, wait. Oh, I did answer that question. There's the question about my avatar is that it's modern GL and Pygame and media pipe. The indentation is crazy. What's wrong with that? I mean, it's down. Well, so it's class, function, so you already got to indent twice to get to here. And then it's a for loop. And then, well, this is at the top level in the function. So like right here, there's a for loop. You could do your X and Y axis. And then you got your, this case. And then for each tile, you want to look at all the neighbors right here. And then if it's that, and then you do, this is just trying that 4 times, and then filtering it, and then we do all of our stuff, so it's perfectly valid. Any plans on reusing / upgrading the shadow mapping code for a project? They're in Of Murder and Moon. Well, it's in Of Murder and Moonshine. It actually probably works better in top-down games for certain types. I don't know. Or like cave-based platformers, which I was working on for a bit before Yawnoc happened. I don't really. Oh wait, shadow mapping. Not. I was thinking of shadow casting. I have my shadow casting thing in Pygame that I was using for some games, but shadow mapping is the 3D thing. It's not that slow, but I'm using it for my MMO thing, or not really an MMO. It's an online multiplayer game. It's basically an MMO in design, but technically not supporting thousands of players at once. But yeah, so it is getting used. It's just I'm busy with Yawnoc right now. You feel like this water will look cosmic in a night variation? Well, there is no night variation, so that's not a problem. I have a video about getting into game development if you want some general tips on learning stuff. I don't really address Python specifically. Would it be okay to have decor spawn in a diamond shape, avoiding the corners? No, because the problem is that once you do that, you can still notice that there's a little section where the tiles don't spawn. Because if they're all diamonds, what you get is your. Oh, where's my MS Paint? If they're all diamonds, you get. Do I actually have a diamond shape? Yeah. Got a diamond shape we can bring out for this. This is what happens. You get this. Now, so this middle spot is not getting filled, or like you just get the white parts where things are placed. Now let's see if you do a bigger diamond so that what would it be? A bigger diamond would be like this. So the problem with this one, let me see. Where's my tiles? So it would be that the tile is probably placed like right here, right? So you got your tiles here. These red squares are your tiles. I missed whatever. So what happens is if you do them big enough, you still end up occupying this corner here. And as soon as you place, let's say you've got this tile, you're putting something here, and you decide to put your grass because the diamond is like this shape here. You try and put it right here. And then you've got the corner problem again because the image is like this. Or whatever. And so if there was water on, say, this tile, you've got the grass going over the water. So no matter how you do it, you're going to end up with that problem. Yeah, there's no way to really avoid it unless you look at it. Now, well, actually, there is you can do some weird distribution math where you just don't use the diagonal. You can go either up or to the side. Wait, no, can you? No, you can't. Because you do have to still be able to cover that corner. Because as soon as you cover that corner, you run into that problem where you need to know what the diagonal is. I use them as paint for my art. MMO multiplayer games are just a matter of scale. Yeah, and that's my point, is that I don't intend to have the scale of thousands of players. There's, in theory, the ability to support it if there's a player base that large, but I would have to change the code. So, I think by definition, the thing I was working on is not an MMO unless I can actually support that many players. So, it's an online multiplayer game that can be turned into an MMO if I need to. Yeah. Yes, I have 2 Steam games. I was showing them earlier in stream. You can search them. They're pretty old though. They're like over 5 years old at this point, or 5 years or older at this point. Yeah. Have I tried making a game in C++ or another language? I mean, I've used other languages with game engines, like GDScript with Godot. I've messed around with... Well, I haven't actually made a full game with Unity. But I have touched C#. I didn't like it. But I've not done it without an engine. In anything other than Python. I don't have a reason to. Because I don't need the extra performance. I don't have, like, Yawnoc, what you've been seeing here has been running at like 420 FPS, and I've not even optimized it completely. There's just no need to optimize it anymore at this point. Because most of the rendering is happening on the CPU, which means that even though I've got a really beefy computer, a laptop is actually not going to be too much different. Because when you compare single core performance, it's not... You could drop by maybe half, but then you're still getting like 200 FPS on a laptop, so it's not much of an issue. So the way I make games, like, I've gotten used to making games in a way that is fairly performant, and so I don't need the extra performance of some other languages. Because what happens when you get that extra performance is it allows you to write bad code for longer, but it's still kind of bad code, so you a lot of times end up having to correct it at some point anyways. So like, for example, if you can get away with large levels where you're rendering everything, even if it's not on screen and you don't have any data structures to organize that. You can get away with that for longer with C++, but eventually it's going to be a problem, whereas the correct way to do it is to filter what's actually on screen, and once you start doing that, and you start data structures for that, then you can deal with any size map, and it runs fine in Python. So if you're doing it the correct way, you're still doing the same thing on both. You can just get away longer with doing it the wrong way in C++. And that's the way it is for a lot of these things. There's rarely stuff where doing it the correct way in Python is too slow, at least for what I'm doing. What's the best language for games, in my opinion? I mean, that question depends on the tools that are available as well. So, I mean, the industry standard is C# and C++, mostly because that's what Unity and Unreal used. But for scripting games, well, actually, Unreal has blueprints, which I think there have been AAA games made with blueprints where people aren't writing any code. But the languages like Python and GDScript are nicer to write game logic with. The issue is that if you're dealing with like a AAA game, like in 3D graphics and stuff like that, a lot of times you do kind of, at least for the engine level stuff, you need a fast language like C++ to make all the OpenGL calls efficiently. But then once you're making a game on top of that and you're writing like game logic, like if a player presses this key, their character does this. A lot of those types of things, the game logic things, are not very intense on your CPU. So for when you're scripting a game like that and you've got a good engine, there's not really, as far as I can think of, there's not really a great reason for most games to not be using a language like GDScript or Python. So it really depends on the tooling more so than the language. The language can be determined, like the best language can be determined from the tooling that you have, I guess. Yeah, Steam, like, well, you have to get your store page approved, and then after that you got to get your build approved, which can take a few days. Do I use regular bloating or sprite groups? I use regular bloating. I don't use sprites at all. My platformer tutorial is building on basic concepts, so there should not be anything in there that I'm referencing that you don't understand unless you didn't learn Python beforehand. Or like, well, rather, there shouldn't be anything there that you don't know about. Rather, everything should be building on basic concepts that, like in Python. And so the issue is that if you're having trouble with it, it's either that you didn't learn the basics of Python first, which is a prerequisite, or it's that you didn't understand like some code I wrote. So for that part, you need to just break it apart, and then it might be just an issue with programming in general, where you need more practice in programming in general to understand the logic behind that code. But yeah, everything in Pygame and everything in that tutorial is very basic and built. You're building up on very basic tools. So there's nothing you should have to Google. They use car palette for the art, yes. Not all artists use palettes necessarily. I think most experienced ones do, but it's not always true. Yeah. Anyways, where was I? What was I gonna fix next? I forgot there was something I had to fix. Oh, the trees, right. I think the, where is that? There's gonna be data structures, quads. Do they have any quads or stationary quads? Wait, these ones can move. I'm not using this though. I think I'm using this one. So I'm using query. And it's doing this thing. It should be taking the entire... What's the problem? That looks like it should be correct. I can just add one. Oh wait, it goes from 0. I mean, I'm just gonna do a hack here. This is not great for performance, but it's gonna have such a minor impact that I don't care. So the trees should all stay now. So if you look, they're not disappearing on the left. That's good. So all the trees are working. Now the last thing I wanted to do today was to split the rendering of the UI from the world. So I've got all this stuff, and I've got like the health bar and the wave count and all sorts of HUD stuff. That needs to be going onto a separate surface. And where is it? Do I have a display surface? How am I doing this? Oh yeah, self-display. So self.hud surf equals self. Or here's what I'll do. Boom. Actually, no, it can just be a copy because the other one is also src alpha. And then where's the fill? Self.hudsurf.fill, and we just do 4 zeros. That'll be black, but also fully transparent. And then now we just move all the rendering over. So the tutorial thing, this needs to go on to... Oh, I'm using like a groups thing. So the way the render blitting works, I believe there's a parameter I can use. Yeah, group. And then when I render the group, say group equals UI. When I render the group, I can say render that group to a different surface or whatever. So like all this stuff could be like the UI group. That should be the UI group. And that should be the UI group. And that. And that. And that. And that. This one too. What else? Beacon. Oh yeah, the beacon health should also be in the UI. And the beacon health. And the beacon overlay. And the beacon text. Oh. It's already group equals default. So actually on those ones I need to switch this over to UI. I'll search for the group equals default later. Here's the title. Here's the cursor. The flash, what is this for? I don't know. Regardless, it should probably be UI. Default. This is gonna need to be changed to UI. Alright, that should be most of it. I know the mini map's not there. Where's the mini map render? There it is. Group equals UI on that. And that should get most of it, I think. I'm trying to think if there's any more. I guess we can look, but so that crashes, and that's expected because what I gotta do is I have to actually set the groups. So up here on the renderer, I have to say that there's a UI group now. And now, when I cycle the renderer, I do the default onto the display, and then I can do the UI onto self.HUD_surf. And then HUD_surf will be self.HUD_surf. And then if I go over to the shader now, uniform sampler 2D HUD_surf. So there's a lot of things missing. These things need to be moved. The question is, where are those coming from? I know the state thing renders a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's coming from here. I'm gonna read chat real quick though. Should you start learning programming as a 16-year-old or just wait for college? I mean, the earlier you start, the better. Every bit helps, I feel like. Yeah. And like for me, I college, look, my programming classes in college were a breeze. I didn't have to spend much time on them. So it saves you time in college. How long should it take for you to learn web dev and make some sort of profit from it? Making a profit from web dev is hard to get into. It depends on what route you take. So I have not really considered that specifically, and I'm not even into web development that much, so I don't know. But yeah, and as the Ascent says, profit as a goal is usually not a great way to go about doing things, because you won't be as motivated. Yes, there are multiple weapons in the game. You have to unlock them by by progressing further. I'm gonna change how that works though in the main, like when I finish the game. Yeah, the code structure in this is a mess because it was made in a rush. So there's spaghetti everywhere. But I'm just dealing with it. It's not a huge issue. Alright. Item, shadow, those are fine. It's the text that needs to go into the UI surface. So this is fine. This is the one that needs to move. So group equals UI. And this one too. Actually, wait. With this one? No, that's the price. That one actually should probably not do that. Upgrade this is the one that should go into the UI, because this is the item description and stuff. The price, maybe, I forgot if that's, I think that heifer is above it, so I shouldn't be messing with that. What is this one? E for interact. I think these go into the UI. And then this one. Group equals UI. All right. That's that. And if not dead, what is this text for? Oh, these are all the upgrades listed on the right. So yeah, this is also UI. So group equals UI. Notifications, that's also UI. Ability cooldowns is UI. Mouse left and mouse right. Huh. Oh yeah, oh, that's the bottom right stuff. Showing your abilities on your weapon. What is this one? Yeah, this is the active effects. Have I been adding? I think I've been pasting a little bit more than I've meant to. So, hang on here. This is what refactoring looks like. All right. Now, that leaves the menu. Oh, menus. This is probably it. Bezier, that draw. Weapon image. Secondary image. Yeah, all this stuff. I think that should be pretty much everything. Yep, so you can't see anything now. So what we do for that is vec4 UI color equals texture surface UV. And we literally just do f color equals, and then f color by 1.0 minus UI color dot a plus UI color. I think that's correct. Color math. No. I forgot. This needs to be HUD surf. There we go. Now we can see everything. And all of that. Oh, nope. Group is invalid. Health surf dot split. Take me to that. That. Yeah, that's an actual dot blit. Nope. Got unexpected keyword argument group. Under ability cooldown. Def render ability cooldown. So we should just take group equals group, or group equals default, and then we can throw group equals group into everything in here, specifically this. There we go. Will it run? Okay, so that black fade from the transition needs to be moved. That's on the wrong layer. Yep. Group equals UI. Nope. Oh, it was repeated. I need to look more carefully on these things. All right. All right, so looks good. Now we just gotta make sure the shop is working correctly. If you look, there's no water effect coming from, or the white water effect coming from my health bar, for example. It does come from the top of the screen, that's a bit harder to deal with. But yeah, like the UI is hovering the water, not causing any issues. I'm missing buttons. I'm missing. Oh, I'm too poor. That's why. So I can buy select swiftness. Next, is that really the way it was before? Was there that much space? I'm gonna check the text on that. I think that's from state, right? So that's gonna be e text, or actually it should be render ZB. So there's like 7 appearances. What is this one? That one I think I decided was going to stay on the way it was on. This one's good, that one's good, that one's good. These two are good. I guess those gaps were just there. So the to buy thing is only if you can afford it. Okay, there's no else case, so that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. I think that's everything I wanted to do today. That took way longer than I was anticipating. I was hoping for this to be like an hour-long stream. It turned into like a 3-hour-long stream because the decor bug spent way too long on the player trying to find colors that didn't blend in. The last thing, fixing the UI thing, went about as expected. Although I guess there were more things that I had to move than I was expecting. And yeah. How long have I been working on this project, and do I put anything into it off stream? This one I do a lot of stuff off stream, but I mean it's more recent that I picked it back up. It was originally made for a competition with Black Farm Prod that I won, and I'm continuing it to make a Steam game. But yeah, I've got to work on it a lot to get it ready for the next fest, hopefully. And then I'll have it by then. I'll have a demo ready by then, and I'm hoping to release it later this year. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to do, so I'm going to be working on it a lot off stream. It's going to be my primary off stream project. I think I'm hoping soon I'm going to be able to switch primarily to PixCarts for the streams. But right now I need to put a lot of time into Yawnoc because the next fest is coming up. Or, well, the registration deadline is, so I need to get that stuff in line, so I need to work on the game more. I wish for the next couple weeks. Why VS Code instead of PyCharm? I don't care. I was using Atom before. I was using Idle before Atom. And I only started using Atom because everyone was complaining about me using Idle. I do not really have a preference on IDEs. As long as it's not, like, slow or something. No, I'm not finishing the entire game today. All right. Well, also, if you've got a complex question, you're probably not going to get it answered in a stream. The stream chat's not the place for complex questions. What fest am I planning to take part of? The next fest. I, I don't mean that to say the next one coming up. It's literally called the Next Fest, the Steam Next Fest. It's in October. Yeah. I was originally planning on trying to release the game in September, but then people were saying I should do the Next Fest and then release the game afterwards, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. But yeah, anyways, I got pretty much everything I wanted to do done everything I want to do in the stream done. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. I'm at just over 3 hours.